Hello, everyone. How are we doing today? First proper recorded podcast of 2022, and it is with one of the members of the resident rock band of LWF, Shining Wizard. It's Clash. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good, thank you. How you doing?
Fantastic, mate. Not too bad at all. Yeah,
That's good. That's good.
started off the year quite well. We started off with a
Yeah.
bang. What have you been up to recently?
um, just standard training's going all right. Bit unfortunate with the recent tag tournament. I got a really very solid win over the worst, and then it all just went downhill in the final. Really.
Yeah, unfortunate. It's very unfortunate, but a few dodgy dealings from
Yeah, a couple. Yeah.
second career. Yeah, something a little slip of what we could only imagine is a little bit of the green handed over to Merseyside Wrecking Crew, Merseyside
Mercenary
Mercenary
squad.
Squad,
Yeah.
Merseyside Wrecking Crew, mixing the two up there.
Yeah. Yeah. It did look like they were paid off for whatever reason,
Yeah,
presumably to eliminate Synergy from that final, because I feel like had Synergy been in there fresh off a big win that they would have had, it would have gone very different for the Wrecking Crew, because those guys they're something else, really, aren't
yeah. Synergy are insane. It's I still to this day, after how long of watching them, still don't believe they're human.
they? Well, I've been in the ring with them multiple times, and it's just like the amount of power they have's insane. Like I'm just glad we're on good terms now, really. Like
That that match is definitely something to get into. 100%.
oh, it's we talking mosh pit mayhem.
Maybe.
Oh, that match, it was something else, that match. I mean,
It was
it's
insane.
out for free on Powered 4 TV as well. People want to check it out.
Oh, I swear,
Definitely
it's
worth watching if you've not seen the
definitely worth
LWF
watching.
before.
I had the pleasure of being in the front row. And, oh my lord! Oh, you could feel it in the audience. I mind actually being in the ring.
Yeah, it was a tense atmosphere. Like, I think everyone in there, they knew it was going to be carnage, but I don't think they knew like the level it was going to be at.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
neither did we going in. Like, we knew what we wanted going into that match, but we weren't expecting Synergy to hit back as hard as they did.
I think
Like,
it's I think it was like Pandora's box. Like no one really knew what they were gonna get, but
yeah,
absolutely knew it was going to be carnage, but at what extent and what level. And yeah, it was brutal.
yeah, like, jeez. No,
Well,
it was insane.
yeah, massively insane. We will get to that a little bit later on. Um, First off though, just out of curiosity, what brought I've got an idea, but what brought the name Clash on?
Well, obviously it's a rip off of Slash, isn't it? Like that is just what's happened. Like,
Respect
rock
the
band,
honesty.
think of a rock star, Slash, change it a bit. What do wrestlers do? They clash. Sorted.
Fair play. I mean,
Yeah.
it's sound logic at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It is sound logic. I mean, I can't complain though. I mean, Shining Wizard, rock band, that makes sense.
Yeah. Easy to remember as well.
It is, yeah.
Not too complicated.
And so, what was it that inspired you to start training to wrestle?
Well, it was like a weird thing, because like I was never one of these kids who watched it all the time growing up, because like we only really had digital TV, and it was never really an interest. But I don't know if you remember the Pro Wrestling World Cup that WCPW did a few years ago. Yeah, basically, a couple of my mates were like, "Oh, come with us and watch this. It'll be a good night out." And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if it's my thing. And I went, I watched it. I really, really enjoyed it. And the thoughts came into my head of, I want to do this. So I spent ages looking for training schools, and then the LWF, obviously, it popped up as something that was easy for me to get to, like living in Leyland, LWF being in Chorley. So I go down. It was end of 2018, and it was their show day, and I didn't know this, so I was like, right, okay. So help with setup and stuff to best I could. And I was like, yeah, this is really, really, really good. And then obviously I just continued going. Bit of an incident in my second training session with a backwards roll. That it almost put me off, but I'm like, as long as it doesn't happen again, it'll be fine. Like it was one of them things, like, because I was really, really not athletic, not agile, not in shape when I started. So I do this backwards roll and I just go vertical upon my head, but then the rest of my body just comes down. It was not nice, but still alive and kicking, so it's fine.
Oh, that doesn't sound nice.
No, it was awful.
It's mad though, isn't it? How it's always a little thing. Like the slightest little things one little thing goes wrong on something that you'd think would be easy, and that's what gets you.
Yeah, definitely.
It's always the same. Like, and in training, like something I've noticed is one person could understand, say, shoulder rolls, for example. One person got them perfect, easy. Someone else, me, struggles. It takes time to get used to them. Can do them now, but it's one of those. So it's 100% down to the individual what they can and what they can't grasp.
Yeah, definitely. Like people progress at different rates, and like me personally, I wrestle on the LWF shows, but there's certain things in training that people who have been there 2-3 weeks can do better than me.
It's how it is.
Yeah, it's all about just keeping a good mindset and just knowing, like, you keep practicing that stuff, you'll be good at it eventually.
Yeah. It's all about consistency, pure consistency.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I remember. I remember I tried. I was at the gym on this hard, like, so the AstroTurf sort of floor, but without the black bits, kind of like that.
Yeah.
I tried to practice the shoulder roll on that. I was like, oh, you kind of need a softer flooring for that. That hurts.
Yeah.
Wrecked my shoulder from one roll. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that again.
No. Foam matting is the way forward when it comes to practicing rolls and stuff.
Yes, massively. I got a mattress and put it in the back garden, was practicing them, but then the kind of instant rolls where you're on level flooring and you're going to do the roll on a mattress that is like a step above.
Yeah, you used to doing it a foot higher.
Yeah, so it kind of that threw me off a little bit, but whatever works.
Yeah, true.
What's it like working in front of the LWF crowd? Because from what I've noticed, it can vary a bit, can't it?
Yeah, the crowd are unbelievable at the LWF. Like, the energy they bring's insane. Like, and personally, I just feel very lucky to be on the positive side of that.
Yeah,
because you've obviously seen how they are with the Wrecking Crew, Nick Cutter, people like that. Like, they hate them. Like, it's not one of them things where it's like, oh, we're gonna boo you because you're a bad guy. It's like you can see in their faces they actively dislike these people.
Yeah,
because of like, I'm just happy that they like me, I guess.
You genuinely bang on, because a lot of them are like a younger audience as well, so they're not like as exposed to it as we are, I guess.
Yeah, I get you with that. Like,
they
they're
see
very
a
much
good
like
good guy, bad guy thing.
Yeah.
I do sometimes get a bit jealous of that. Looking at it from like an innocent point of view.
Yeah, just being like, these people, like I feel like a lot of the kids in the crowd, they do look up to wrestlers, kind of thing. Like, that sounds a bit stuck up, but
no.
You can see it by like how many of them queue up for in-ring photos and get photos after the show and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the reactions, like, it's genuine organic reactions. It's not Like, oh, this is the good. Oh, okay, yeah. Like it's
Yeah,
100% like unglued. Like you see the likes of Joey Hayes and Ronaldo. Like the place just
yeah, it
it comes
erupts.
unglued.
Yeah,
It does. It
crowd
really does.
absolutely love him.
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
it's always lovely to see, and like it's something. And aspiring wrestlers will look at, or even wrestlers wrestling now will look at and think, I want to reach that level. You know what I mean? Where the crowd just comes unglued for you.
yeah. It's always got to be a goal, hasn't it? Like for you to be able to walk out that curtain and the crowd are on their feet. Like you saw it when Ronaldo won the championship. Like
Yeah.
there was people like jumping up and down and like it was like comparable to like Luke Shaw's goal in the Euros final. The energy that come off that crowd was unbelievable.
Sure. Never thought I'd hear that comparison.
Yeah. Well, Ronaldo's a football guy, and so I thought I'd make that analogy.
Fair play, makes sense. So you're a one thing I've noticed, you predominantly work LWF. Have you thought, is it a goal for the future to expand to other shows?
It's definitely a goal
Mm.
to get bookings elsewhere, but at the moment I'm happy with where I am. Like maybe later on this year or start of next year I'll start trying to branch out a bit. But for now I just want to solidify my position in the LWF, if that makes sense.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Absolute perfect sense. LWF is a genuine family, and I can see that
Yeah.
with how I've been treated by you guys, by Bibby and everyone. And I'm not even a wrestler there, but
Yeah.
yeah, they're such a family.
No, yeah, definitely. Like it's one of them things like they are like everyone at the LWF are genuine friends of mine. Like it's not just like I go and I train with them and I work with them on shows. It's like, yeah, I'd go out for a drink with them or
Yeah.
like stuff like that. And I have done in the past. Like
Yeah, exactly. Like TNT, for example, at Extreme Fields, like that. I when I got invited to that, I was like second, third, fourth, fifth guessing everything because, as I said, I'm not a wrestler, so I was like, do I belong here or anything like that? But it made me, all of you made me feel like one of you. You made me feel so welcome. It was like one of the best days slash nights of wrestling I think I've seen in a long time.
oh, it was a cracking night, Extreme Fields. It was very, very good to be there.
Yeah.
Drank quite a bit, but that's we'll ignore that because it's unprofessional.
Hey,
Not.
You weren't working the show. You were a fan.
I wasn't. I was a fan on that show, and it's good. It's good to go and just support your fellow wrestlers and your like local promotions, and
Oh yeah.
it's always a good night, isn't it?
Oh, it was great. It was so fun, and we can't forget. This is something that needs to live on in infamy. Nathan is a wanker.
Yeah, that chant directed at Mr. Cruz. I mean, it was he was being a wanker. To be fair,
It was justified.
yeah.
Oh, it was incredible. Like the reaction to Dynamite Lee and watching a very drunk Kelly Van Ness run up to about an inch of the ring, cheering him on. Was
Oh, he's
fantastic.
great though, Lee. Like he's got some incredible energy.
Oh yeah.
I remember like when he was on LWF shows, like he was always like just so excited about everything, like backstage. Like really like sound guy, like incredible wrestler. Like really happy for him that he's going up and up.
Yeah, he's definitely someone to watch
Yeah,
massively.
definitely.
Like one the up to the top of each list when it comes to ones to watch for this year. That is incredible.
Absolutely.
I had him on here a few months ago, and the support was nothing short of what I expected, really, but it still overwhelmed me at the same time because of just how much people love Lee.
Well, yeah, it's because like he's just the energy he has and that. Like, but it's like his catchphrase, like the fuse, like it's everyone loves that. Like the amount
It
of people who
works.
join in with that, yeah, it fits him
That
so
is
well.
perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Like he struck gold. When you hit
Yeah,
something like that,
definitely.
it's only got to take you from there to there
Yeah,
and upwards like
absolutely.
that. Massively. It's important. It's important. I've got quite an important one here, an important question. I think the people need to know. How many instruments can you play?
uh, um, none.
There you go.
I, can, I can do a little bit of bass. When I say a
There you
little
go.
bit, I mean like accord. Like
But damn it, you can do that chord well.
yeah, fake it convincingly as well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
massively. Make it till you make it.
yeah, definitely.
I had to
No,
ask it.
I would like to learn it properly in the future, but it's really difficult.
Oh, it is. It
Yeah.
is. I've recently actually started my first keyboard lesson last Tuesday. And it's gonna be like a weekly thing for me, so hopefully I'll be able to be well, keyboard or piano.
Oh,
In
fair.
mainly piano, I think. But yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully like a year from now, I'm a whiz on the a whiz on the piano.
Well, if Shining Wizard ever go classical, I know what to call.
Could do a bit of Van Halen.
Yeah, yeah, true.
It is insane though that the most iconic riff that Van Halen ever came up with was on the keyboard.
Yeah, true.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, the questions come round, and I want to know everything about this. We could probably
Okay.
spend about an hour talking about this. What was the inspiration behind the Mosh Pit Mayhem match?
Well, it's just like you go in a mosh pit at a concert. It is mayhem.
Mm-hmm.
Like people shoving each other. I've been punched in the face in mosh pits before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it was like we need a catchy name, so we go like alliteration. GCSE English coming out now. Easily memorable. But yeah, like the idea of like anything goes, weapons, any kind of strikes, low blows, closed fists, all that kind of stuff. But obviously it was a pretty late idea we had because we kind of clocked. Yeah, we've got one referee for this. We only had Dan Cheetah for that match.
Yeah.
So we
Mad
basically
match to referee that.
added the stipulation that the pinfall must take place in the ring.
Mm-hmm. Makes
Just
sense.
yeah, helps Dan out quite a bit with that. Not having to be all over the building, like could potentially be out in the street, backstage in the bar. Like I still to this day have no idea where Troy Ryan and Aiton Steen went when they went backstage. They came out on the balcony, but they could have been anywhere in that building. Like
we were
just
wondering that for ages.
yeah.
We were looking around.
He just took him. I was like, my instant reaction was, he's just stolen my tag team partner. He's just took him, just done a Lego with him. No, it was quite confusing when that happened. And then when they came out on the balcony, I was just like, oh, he's going to jump off this, isn't he? One of them's going off this. And then obviously Aiton jumped off the balcony, which was interesting. Like it was.
It adds him. But that's
Yeah.
just Aiton though, he's a mad bastard.
Yeah. Like I'm
I say that as
looking
if
up there,
you're
I'm
not.
like, I wouldn't have jumped off that. Like, that's a long way down.
It is. That's a really long way down.
Yeah, it's a long way.
I'm shit with heights as well.
Oh, I'm not the best with them, which isn't ideal in my position. But no, it's something you just got to deal with.
Yeah.
Like if you're up for something, you're coming down. Like it's not going to be like, as long as you keep your head tucked and you don't land, as long as you don't land on your head, essentially, you're going to be fine.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah.
And
Just watch your head.
and like 999 times out of 1,000, you won't land on your head. So
Yeah,
the height
pretty
of
much,
stuff
yeah.
as much it's not nice. It's not the most terrifying thing in the world. Like there's obviously stuff that's gonna hurt more. There's stuff that's gonna hurt less.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, for example, Keenan going through that table on the outside.
oh
Ow.
yeah.
Ow.
That was one of them things, and we were like, we'd done that, and we were like, yeah, we've done him in here. And he was like, and he was out for that long that he didn't realize that obviously Synergy had decided, okay, fair enough, these guys
Yeah.
are okay, and then he comes in kicking off, and the confusion was obviously, it made sense, to be fair.
Yeah, it was this really good feel good moment, and Keen's just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, it just gets in and starts kicking off. Like obviously he got his comeuppance, but
It's
like,
the fact that he was laid out cold for so long that the kids were in the ring having pictures with him.
yeah, like he was out there for ages. He was just completely just done in the middle of the ring, and like the building had emptied. Like we had, I think Troy Ryan went out to collect him because we were like, we need to take the ring down, and he's still in there.
Yeah, people were actually taking parts of the ring down around him.
Yeah, taking the aprons off, and like kids getting in the ring and pinning him. Like it was really funny.
These are reasons why I love LWF. It's so great.
Yeah.
But I need to know, how did it feel taking a guitar shot from Anderson Daniels, of all people?
Oh, it was probably honestly the most painful thing that's ever happened to me in a wrestling match. It was absolutely awful. Like obviously I was asked afterwards, like, was that guitar gimmicked? Because people, yeah, it was you. Yeah, it was actually. And it was one that like it wasn't. I was like, I knew it was gonna hurt. Like, so obviously he's took the guitar off me. I'm like, right, just brace for impact at this point. But it was unbelievable. It was like, it's difficult to describe. And obviously the bang that went off, you can hear it in the footage from all the air coming out of the guitar. Like I couldn't hear anything for a solid 10 minutes. My ears were just ringing. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was awful. My arms were shaking, my legs were shaking, blurry vision, couldn't hear anything. It was just really disorientating. But I've watched it back.
You were so proud of it as well. I went and talked to you and were like, yeah.
Oh yeah, it was sick. Like I've watched it back, and the reactions of the crowd are absolutely priceless. It's so good. Like someone like audibly screamed after it happened. I was like, but like the poor woman who was literally right next to me when it happened, and she's just like the disbelief when he's got it above his head, and then when it comes down, and it's quite funny, to be honest. And then obviously getting thrown through chairs as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just there, just out. That was me done that. I was not getting back up from that.
Yeah, I'll link the video. I'll try and find it and try and link the video of Clash getting hit with that guitar in this description. Or something along the lines.
Yeah. Well, the matches on Powered for TV as a free.
What shot of Powered for TV?
Yeah, Powered for TV
for free as well.
Wrestling Netflix.
Exactly. Yeah.
The subscription's worth it, to be fair.
It really is.
Like you get a lot. You get a lot for your money.
Yeah. Yeah, I 100% agree. I got Power for TV late last year. It really is great.
Yeah.
It's getting round to watch. I've been meaning to watch TNT back. I've been waiting to watch the Extreme Fields back.
There's probably more stuff on there than you have time to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, that the only thing is getting round to watching it.
Yeah.
There's so much on there though. It really is worth.
Yeah,
we're not getting paid. But
no, we're not. It's genuinely a really good service.
Genuinely, yeah. As you just said, wrestling Netflix. Genuinely.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
It's good exposure for first, I don't want to say smaller companies, but like companies that aren't like a progresses level.
Yeah. Companies that could do with that exposure, like it helps.
Yeah.
It really does help.
No,
It's
it really
really
does.
good. It's like it's one of them where wrestling promotions will always get the local fans, but it's
Yeah.
difficult to branch out to further fans because time, money, it's
Yeah.
difficult.
Like I'd always encourage like supporting your local promotion.
Yeah.
As first and foremost. But if you have the facilities to get to other places, it's worth checking them out.
Oh, massively. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got to more shows that this like last year than I ever had. I
Yeah.
got to obviously LWF and Future Shock are my two home shows.
Yeah.
I got to catch TNT. Those are different shows, which were fantastic.
Yeah.
It's so great.
Obviously we went to Extreme Fields, but
Yeah.
watched a couple of Odyssey shows.
Yeah.
Kingdom of Wrestling, This Is Wrestling, and they were all it's weird, like they're all family friendly. Like obviously Extreme Fields wasn't, but family friendly promotions, but they're all different.
Yeah.
Like it's not like you go to one place and you go to another place and it's the exact same show. A lot of the time it's not even similar.
Yeah.
I think that's really good. There's a lot of like versatility and diversity in the cards and the actual shows themselves.
Yeah. That's a massive thing with shows as well. You do need that versatility, that originality between each show, because a lot of shows can fall into the trap of feeling a bit samey. But it's
See,
if I go to TNT and Future Shock, then LWF, they're going to be three very different shows.
yeah, I think that's something particularly the Northwest is very, very strong with. But I suppose that's the only real place I've watched wrestling shows.
Yeah.
But I've never been to two shows, even from like the same promotion, where it's been like, yeah, this is samey. Like it's all different.
Yeah. Which
Like
is
there's
fantastic.
like themed shows, themed matches. It's really creative and it's good to see, really.
Yeah. Yeah, because it shows a lot of passion and heart going into something that they love to do.
Yeah.
Which is always
A
great.
lot of creative thinking from obviously the owners of the companies and the wrestlers in the matches.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, you get people like Steve Baby and Sam Bailey at Future Shock, and you can't really question what they do. They love the business and they love what they do, and they're two fantastic minds of the business right there.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a business where you are only limited to your imagination.
Yeah, and booking fees.
God's sake.
If you don't have a few grand to spend on booking fees, you're gonna have to book other people.
But I mean, you're right.
It's why I like. It's a good thing to see like companies as well pushing academy talent as well as obviously your big names like your Joey Hayes and people like that. Like LWF, there's a lot of people on those shows that have come through the academy.
Yeah, it's a feeder promotion. It feeds people through from the academy, which is one thing I really, really do love. You see academy talents come through Future Shock as well, and I love to see that. It's so good because when you see someone debut, I watched Holly Barlow and the likes of Tonga as well, the Young Guns, all of them debut in Future Shock, and when you see these people debut and watch them from where they were to where they are in a few years from now, you've been on that journey.
I get you with that. Like, I've completely blanked. Can't remember what I was gonna say. But yeah, I imagine it is good. Like, it's a nice thing to be a part of. Like, if you watch a debut and then you watch them in a title match 2 years later.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like you look at the Young Guns. Like, you watched them debut and now you're seeing them like everywhere.
Exactly. And you can't help to be so happy for these people because this is their dream. This is what they want to do, and you're watching them achieve it.
Yeah,
it's so great.
Yeah, definitely. Like as well, like People might go into it just wanting to work their local promotion, or maybe even like not even do that many shows, just doing it for a fitness kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then there's obviously the people who go into that thinking like, I want to be the next Roman Reigns, I want to be the next Sasha Banks, people like that. And watching them achieving those heights, like it's impressive. Like
It really is. It's inspiring at the same time,
yeah,
knowing
definitely.
that these people are literally coming to literally be at the exact same position that you are starting out. And look at them now. Know what they can do.
Yeah, yeah. It's just a matter of like, if you're willing to put the work in, there's not really any limits to where you can go with wrestling.
Exactly. Exactly. And there's also no right or wrong way of getting into the business either. I don't like this
Yeah,
kind of herd mentality of like, I say the Miz came in from NTV. It's like, yeah, but look at what he's doing now and look how passionate he is
yeah,
and how good he is. It
yeah,
doesn't matter how you get in, it matters if you love the business and they're dedicated to it.
yeah, definitely. Like if you've got a good trainer and you trained well, like it doesn't really matter where you've come from, like in your background.
Exactly. Exactly. Because you're
Like
at the end of the day, you're all there for the same reason to put on a great show.
yeah, definitely. Like it doesn't like it's obviously important to be individual, but
Oh
at
yeah.
the same time, you've all got to be equals. Like obviously there will be people who are like you go you go to a show and you'll be like, there'll be your academy talent and you'll be like, oh, these guys are great. It's nice to see these people. It's good to see these people, and be introduced to who they are. But it's obviously like your bigger names on the card. They're the people that a lot of fans will go to watch.
Yeah.
But then because of that, they get introduced to new people.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You're only going to benefit younger talent when you rub them up against more experienced talent, like over talent, because you're only
yeah,
going to benefit and learn from that. Like I've seen it quite a few times over the years. I remember seeing Pac go up against Sonny Durson in Future Shock, and holy shit, that's a match I've watched live.
yeah,
it, things like that, it's always amazing to see because you're seeing. I'm not saying Sonny's like new talent. Sonny's fucking elite, but seeing talent that major established talent rubbing it up against people who are on the British indie scene,
yeah. Who
you're
are
only
like
going to benefit.
who are like well known in their local area and potentially even nationwide, but maybe less so in other countries.
Exactly.
But these people who are like fucking worldwide stars against like national talent, it's like really, really good exposure for them.
Massively, yeah, because you see that one name on the card, a lot of people who not necessarily these people might not go to the local show, an LWF or Future Shock. They might not frequent it every so often,
Yeah,
but they see a name that they know, say Pac the Hurricane, people like that. Like, oh shit, oh that person's on. Get a ticket. And they're watching one match. They've gone there for that one wrestler, but they're watching the rest of the card and they'll enjoy the rest of the card and what everybody else has to offer. And
yeah,
you've got yourself potentially a new fan there.
yeah, definitely. Like perfect example is Joey Hayes. Like you see Joey Hayes on a card, you're like, okay, that's going to be a good show.
Yeah.
Like, but there's a lot of people like coming up now, and you see them, and you're like, yeah, they're going to put on a good match.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely good for like you like academy talent coming through, people like that, like less experienced guys, to be not necessarily in the same, like not even necessarily in the same match, but on the same show as these people,
Yeah,
because they're going to draw the numbers, and it gets you more acclimatized to larger amounts of people
it does. Yeah.
at a show. Like I remember like when I debuted, I was so nervous before going out. But like now, I'm like just go out.
Yeah.
It's like you get used to. Like I'd probably be a bit nervy if I went elsewhere. It's natural to be.
Of
Like
course.
the LWF crowd, like you go around it and you see the same faces every show, but
Yeah.
you see new faces every single time as well.
Yeah.
And it's really positive.
And the thing is with your entrance as well and your style, it's just so energetic that it gets the fans, especially the younger fans, but it gets the fans up and going and excited because of how energetic you are. You run out there and don't stop.
Yeah. Obviously, at the last show, I nearly ran straight into you.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Stopped myself, so that's all right.
You had a cross, had to stop yourself. What, John? You just went, yes. Went you cross? It's great stuff, though. Like, that's one thing I do love, though, because it gets you hyped up as a fan when you see everybody else getting hyped up as a collective.
Yeah,
that like this is going to be good.
As well, like the crowd being hyped up gets you hyped up as a wrestler. Like it helps you like have more energy going into it. Like gets the adrenaline going.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Like that's what's really good about the LWF. Like the crowd are always really supportive of every match.
Yeah, they are, and it's great to see. It really is great to see because
yeah, definitely.
I've been to shows where the crowd's been dead when, in my eyes, they really shouldn't be.
Yeah,
I remember it was a match actually shot between Holly Barlow and Lexus Falcon, and I think it was the first ever women's main event of that show, of that promotion, and it was one of my favorite matches of the year. It was amazing,
yeah,
but I think there was like a marquee match earlier on in the show, and a lot of fans had come for that.
yeah,
And a lot of people had left, and the remaining people weren't making much noise. And me and a few others were just going hell for leather trying to get everyone going. And it was a shame because that feud that lasted pretty much all year was my personal feud of the year, and it was incredible.
yeah.
And the match that night was incredible. I thoroughly loved it. But yeah, sometimes it just happens. Sometimes there can just be
Yeah, sometimes
uh,
like if the crowd have been absolutely massive for one match, they might be a bit tired or something like that. But I'd say like people in the crowd, like you know what you're there for, kind of thing. Any support you can give to the match, whether it's cheering, booing, chanting, it is really, really appreciated by the people in the ring.
Yeah, I can imagine that because that's what you're there for, isn't it? That's the
Yeah.
highlight for you, is to get that big crowd reaction, whether you're getting booed or cheered.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely with that.
I mean, me in training at the moment, well, kind of training at the moment, bit of a faux pas, but yeah, getting back in soon.
Getting back into it, yeah.
I'm one of them who wouldn't mind getting booed,
Yeah.
Really ridiculous.
I might come across a bit of an arsehole here, but it's good. It's good getting cheered. It is good. It's a good feeling.
Yeah.
But I imagine getting booed as well. It could like if that's what you're trying to do, then I imagine it is quite satisfying. But obviously if they boo you and you're not trying to be booed, it probably isn't very nice. But it's not something you see often at all. That
I can imagine that one being a bit like you go out there expecting, yeah, boo. Oh.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can imagine it being a bit disconcerting. I think that's like a lot of people's worst nightmare when you're first starting off, first
Yeah.
getting onto shows.
Like that was I think part of the reason why I was really worried before my debut. Because I was like, what if I go out there and they're just like, what is this guy? We're not getting behind him. But they
it's
did.
one of them.
So
it's one of them where it's like it's like the worst enemy is yourself.
Yeah, definitely. But something about the LWF crowd as well, and it's really good for people debuting is they will always get behind an underdog.
Oh yeah, I'm a sucker for an underdog.
Yeah,
I'm a
it's great.
massive
Like
sucker for an underdog.
even if like you're thinking they're not going to win, or you're thinking they probably won't, when they do, it's a nice thing as a spectator.
It is. When someone you're really rooting for wins, it's beautiful to see. It really
Yeah,
is.
it's
Like, it's so
brilliant.
heartwarming. It's like that's one of the reasons why I loved Halle so much, because she was always an underdog wherever she went, and she was always fantastic, no matter
Yeah,
what. It's always great following the story of like the underdog story.
yeah, definitely. Like
Uh,
you can see it in the LWF, like with the Reynaldo and Nick Cutter thing at the end of last year. Like obviously, like Ray's a veteran and he's really, really very good, but obviously Nick Cutter's like significantly younger. So I feel like
True as well.
Ray was probably seen as a bit of an underdog in that match because obviously Cutter had the support of the Wrecking Crew as well, but the crowd, like obviously the crowd reaction when he won was something else. And but I think Ray and the LWF crowd kind of go hand in hand. Like they'll
Yeah,
never not love him, kind of thing.
yeah, yeah. No, it's organic in its finest form, and it's
Yeah,
just it's really great. It's nothing short of amazing to see.
yeah, definitely.
Simply put, I mean, don't get me wrong. I've really enjoyed, as bigger bastards as they are, I've really enjoyed what like how far the Wrecking Crew have come. They are
Yeah,
bastards, but yeah, how far they've come is incredible. But that reaction was stunning.
yeah. It's one of them things as well. Like the Wrecking Crew will come out and the crowd will just instantly be just booing them, shouting stuff at them. I think it benefited Shannon Wizard massively being against the Wrecking Crew because it was one of them things like that crowd will get behind anyone who's not the Wrecking Crew, wanting them to win. Like obviously the crowd had kind of realized that obviously we were like actually we quite like these guys after Mosh Pit Mayhem. That seems to be when the support kind of went up quite a lot.
Yeah,
But once we started like having issues with the Wrecking Crew and stuff, crowd were they just wanted us to win anything we were against them in.
yeah. I'd have been. I would. I was saying to my mum, because she's a Wrecking Crew fan. We love pretty much all the tag teams going in that tournament, to be
Yeah.
honest. But I said to her, I've been very happy with Shannon Wizard winning that one.
Well, I would have been as well. Obviously, we didn't. But to get a title match like relative like within what is realistically not that long after debuting, it's really like I'm really grateful for it.
Yeah,
Like I'm proud of myself to, like as well for being able to get to that point.
it
Obviously,
should be as well.
we came up short, but just involved in a title match like I debuted in February 2020. Then obviously the great global scourge occurred. So I then didn't have a match till July last year.
Yeah,
So it's not a huge amount of time, but I'm just excited to see what this year brings.
yeah, yeah. I am right there with you. I'm so excited for 2022.
Yeah,
So excited. It's going to be an amazing year. I've set myself some goals for this year, so it's going to be great.
yeah. So have I.
Speaking of, do you have any wrestlers um that you'd quite like to wrestle in the future?
I don't know. Like it's one of them things. I tend to just take stuff as it comes, but
Mm.
I think like Merseyside Mercenary Squad, they'd be great to work with.
Oh yeah,
Like watching them like obviously I'm predominantly a tag wrestler, so I'm thinking tag teams.
fair.
Merseyside Mercenary Squad, definitely. Synergy again down the line, maybe.
Yeah,
But
100%.
obviously that might not be a realistic goal with the trajectory they're on at the moment.
Could be.
Like it's unbelievable. Like they're on the network.
Yeah,
Like, fair play to them.
and they deserve
But
it
yeah,
as well.
yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
Obviously, I tend to just take stuff as it comes. Like if um, mine's gone blank again.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, it's difficult to think of specific people
That's
who I'd
fair.
want to work with because I just want to work with as many people as possible.
Well, that's an answer in and of itself, really. Like
Yeah,
everyone,
true.
anyone. Like
Yeah,
that's an answer anyway. And yeah, I can understand that as well. Like I have a list of people from like a bucket list kind of view for someone who I'm nowhere near getting on a show, nowhere near. But for
well,
the
you never
future,
know. Yeah,
that I've got some ideas in my head of people I'd love to work with in some capacity. Here or there, whether as
yeah,
a manager, for or against, with anything.
yeah,
But yeah, it wanting to work with as many people as you can is also an answer in and of itself.
yeah. Because you learn stuff from people you're against.
Yeah,
Like you pick things up and tweak stuff that you do, either from advice to give you or just from the actual match itself.
yeah. Like one thing you might not even expect could get like a big reaction from the crowd.
Yeah, like certain moves that might not be considered a massive move, and then you hit it, and the crowd like pop, and you're like, okay, I'll do this more.
Yeah, because most of the time, like the big moves will always get a reaction, but most of the time
Yeah,
it's those little things that you think of like, oh, I didn't even think that would get noticed, but it got a pop.
yeah.
And
I
there you
think
go.
from a family show aspect as well, where they're just going to watch wrestling. They're not like obviously you've got crowds that are going to see the massive, massive superplexes, 450s, all that kind of stuff, and that's a niche market for people. Like obviously, not everyone can do a 450.
Yeah.
Like I said, like the majority of people won't be able to do the high flying stuff like that, but the people who can, they're in a very good position
Yeah.
because they're obviously a smaller pool, but yeah, like technical wrestling, for example. I love watching technical wrestling, but other people might not. Other people might find it boring or stuff like that.
I love
And
it.
that's their opinion, but it's good to watch. It's
Ridgeway
like
is my favorite wrestler, and
Ridgeway is good.
it's just
He is good.
you can't help but just love what he does in the ring. And I remember I bet at TNT between me and David, yeah, of the how many bumps a Ridgeway match was going to get.
Yeah, that was. Well, it was a technical masterpiece. Let's be realistic here.
Oh,
But obviously,
massively, yeah.
you don't have to be taking like throwing in ridiculous moves and pile drivers and back flips and front flips for it to be a good match.
As long as you have the crowd hooked from beginning, middle to end,
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah, absolutely.
It's down to pretty much doing what you know you can do and try. Because I get the feeling sometimes. I'm not naming names because I genuinely don't know anyone who does this to name names. It's hypothetical, really. But I can get I kind of imagine early on in some people's career as a wrestler to try and do things that might not particularly be them. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get you with that. Like,
And that's natural.
I did it to some degree. Like,
It is natural, isn't it?
my character now is completely different to what it was when I debuted because
Yeah,
I've obviously changed it to what the crowd get behind.
exactly.
But at the same time, I've changed it to be stuff that I enjoy doing more.
Yeah,
Kind
and
of thing.
that translates to the
It's
fans
getting
as
that
well as
balance.
fun.
Yeah, like if you're not enjoying yourself with a character you're doing, and don't do it. Like if the crowd get behind it, but you feel it's not you, or you just don't like the feel of it, then just change it. Like if the crowd support you, then they'll support you no matter what you do, really.
Exactly. And the crowd's smart, whether
Yeah.
it be adults, kids, whatever. The crowd are smart. They'll be able to notice if you're not 100% dedicated to what you're doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's sound advice, really. Just do you and do what you
Yeah.
find is fun, because you'll be able to latch onto it a lot more that way as well.
Yeah, like you see people and their character in the ring is completely different to how they are out of the ring. And like a lot of the time that works.
Yeah.
But for me, I find it easier to be closer in the ring to how I am outside. But it's one of them. It's just whatever suits you personally, really.
Yeah,
There's
it's
not
about
really
finding that niche.
yeah. There's not really a set way to have a character or
Mhm.
to not have a character potentially.
Yeah, yeah, because it's about finding you and finding that level of comfort within you and your gimmick, your character.
Yeah, absolutely.
So as soon as you start relating to what you're doing, as soon as the fans will start relating to what you're doing too.
Yeah, like
Hang on.
it is important to have a good character.
Yeah.
Like, but like I'd say potentially more important than your actual in ring ability. Like obviously it's impressive seeing people do crazy things or like ridiculous technical wrestling, but if it's a character you can get behind, you're gonna support that.
I mean, again, I return back to the Miz. Like, no one's ever going to look at the Miz and think he's a technical masterclass and that was a Bret Hart. But at the same time, everyone gets behind him. They boo him, don't get me wrong, but everyone
Yeah,
either loves or hates him because of how good he is, and his
because yeah,
character is so that you can gravitate to it, whether you love or hate it. You're there for it, and you feel
yeah.
something with it. It's
Like well,
tangible.
perfect example of the flip side is look at Roman Reigns. Like he's an incredible wrestler, and
Yeah.
the character he's got now works for him so well.
Hmm.
But then you look at how he was 2-3 years ago when they're trying to fall, they were trying to just force him down the fans' throat,
Hmm.
and the fans didn't like that, so they were booing him.
Yeah.
When it was a character the WWE wanted the crowd to be cheering.
And it
But
wasn't the character. It wasn't Roman. People. It got to the point where people booed Roman and hated Roman, and didn't. I don't think they
yeah,
understood themselves that it wasn't him they really hated. It was this idea
it was
of
how he was being used.
exactly,
Like wrestling fans don't like being force fed things. They'll choose who they like and who they don't like.
exactly. Like Cesaro, Daniel Bryan, CM Punk. These people are organically always going to be loved by the fans, no matter what.
Yeah,
It, it's very obvious when the promotion goes, "This is the person you're going to cheer. Cheer them
yeah.
now." Like, no.
But the thing is with it, those promotions are they're never the small local level promotions.
Hmm.
It's always your big boys who are doing stuff like that because they have a product that they want to. But they've obviously got more things to think about with stuff like that. It's like what's going to sell. It's
Yeah.
going to sell toys. What's going to sell shirts. Whereas with a smaller, like even like your big companies, but like your Progresses, your ICWs, that's still a very organic atmosphere.
Yeah.
Like nothing feels forced, which is something you do see. It's not really an ideal amount, but quite a lot in your bigger companies.
Yeah. And it's something you can see through a mile away as well.
Yeah,
I throw this word around a lot, but it's because it's true. It has to be organic, and the fans have to be there. They have to be along for the ride since day one. Or else it's just not gonna work
yeah,
no matter what. I mean, don't get me wrong. Somewhere down the line, one event can happen that can flip, and there you go, you've got the fans. But that can be quite a rare occasion, and a lot of the time that's not down to the booking per se; it's down to the performers.
Yeah, like obviously I don't know anything about how a show's booked.
Oh,
It's not my business to know.
yeah,
Like, but what you can see, particularly in the UK, particularly in a lot of Europe as well, is everything is booked well. Like you never see a match and you just think like, why is that happening? Like it's always you see it and you're like, oh, that's all right. I like that.
yeah. I think we've been quite lucky in that regard for quite a while with or British European wrestling, because we've got at the moment an embarrassment of riches with how much talent there truly is on the indie scene. And a few years ago, when WWE was purging talent, people were saying British wrestling's dead, and they
Yeah.
couldn't be more wrong if they tried.
Like I was it was before I'd started training and stuff, and I
Yeah.
was looking at it, I'm like, they're snatching up the big names, and you're like, this isn't great, but it's probably actually been more beneficial to the British indie scene because it's allowed those gaps to be filled by newer people and get them exposure.
Yeah, it's gotten the newer people exposure, and at the same time, it's gotten bigger names signed to pretty much the biggest
Yeah.
company in the world.
Well, yeah.
So that has benefited a
So it
lot of
benefits
people.
everyone, really.
And then that biggest company in the world let them all go.
Yeah. Which is, well, it's ridiculous, really, isn't it? But
Yeah, we'll move on from that one.
yeah,
Bit of jab.
that's not something we want to talk about. Keep it positive.
Yeah, it's great, and it's genuinely so great to see. And as I say, that when you're watching talent that are genuinely enjoying being in the ring,
Yeah.
there's not much else you can ask for, really.
Well, yeah.
It touches the fans when these wrestlers are so into everything they do, and that they're loving it. It makes the fans love it by proxy.
Yeah, it is one of them things. Like, it's not something you can feasibly do if you don't enjoy doing it.
Very true. Very, very true. And it also is an art form that is so reliant on you're so reliant on your opponent, and your opponent is so reliant on you, that if you're not
Yeah.
enjoying it, that could lead to just one little slip of carelessness, if you know what I mean.
But like, not even that. If you're not enjoying what you're doing, then the crowd ain't gonna enjoy what you're doing. At the end of the day,
And
like,
that's what it's about.
that'll have a negative impact on you, on your opponent, and potentially on the rest of the show.
On the company, everything, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like one little bit, like one match where you just know someone isn't interested in it. It can just, because by nature, simply by nature, people gravitate more towards negativity. That's why negative press is always rampant
Yeah.
everywhere. It's just how we are. So like
Yeah.
one little slip, like the rest of the show could be absolutely fantastic, but sometimes you might get people leaving the show going, yeah, but what about that thing that happened? It's like it
Yeah.
can be a shame, but it's
That's why
not
it's good to have as much positivity as possible. Like, and that
massively.
it's something you do see, like particularly in wrestling. Like,
Mm,
everyone's very supportive of each other. There's not really any real beef going on. You get the odd little thing,
yeah,
but it never goes massive. It's usually
yeah.
resolved.
Which it's just how it should be. It should be
Yeah.
professional.
Yeah.
Like you'll stay behind after shows and talk to people, and they're always so supportive and so positive and so lovely.
Yeah. No, it's brilliant. Like,
Other than
people give it.
the wrecking crew, they're bastards.
Yeah. But yeah, like you go out and you'll talk to someone who's like either a wrestler somewhere else or a trainer and ask them for feedback, and they'll genuinely give you like good beneficial feedback, not just like, oh yeah, that was good. They'll break down what was good and what was bad. And for me, like, I'd like negative feedback is a good thing, like
Yeah,
criticisms, because it helps you improve. If you're just getting told everything's brilliant that you do, then you're never going to get better.
Yeah, I don't like when a lot of people blow smoke like that. Like, oh, yeah, it was good that, yeah, and then they'll walk away and say
Yeah,
otherwise. I'd rather people tell me like that was good, but you could have done this.
yeah. Like there's always room for improvement with anything.
I mean, you look
Like
at some of the best in the world. You look at the likes of Roman Reigns. There will always be room for improvement in his head. That's what
yeah,
makes you successful.
yeah. It's having that mindset and not getting the idea in your head of like if people think they're amazing at everything, then the minute someone criticizes them, they're gonna have a negative reaction to that. Like obviously it's a positive thing to know you're good at something,
Yeah,
but you've also got to be like grounded in the way that like yes, I'm good at this, but I could be better,
yeah,
and that helps you to improve, keeps you motivated.
exactly. I think a lot of it as well can go down to who's telling them as well.
Yeah,
I think a lot of them go down to that. It's like if you're being told to improve at someone that you think you're better than, it can make you think like, oh well, I don't know. But yeah, constructive criticism, it will only help serve to improve you because
yeah,
as I said, the best in the world are the ones that I've always wanted to improve.
yeah, definitely. Like taking criticism positively as well.
Yeah,
Like if someone criticizes you and you don't necessarily agree with their criticism, still take it on board. Whether you choose to ignore it or not is up to you. But if you just hear what they've got to say, then it helps give you more of a feel of like what you can do better with, what you're really good at, what you're not necessarily good at.
exactly. Exactly. And at the end of the day, you should always be wanting to improve in the
Yeah,
ring,
definitely.
in character, in everything, really. It's
Yeah,
great.
just in general.
Yeah. And life.
Yeah, just being the best version of yourself you can be. To be a bit soppy and mildly cringy.
We love it on this channel. Josh, do you have any goals or ambitions for the future?
um,
Be that near or far, wherever you are.
for me, just in improving like my fitness, my physique, that because that does need work. That's something I've got in my head that I need to sort out.
Or same.
And like with doing that, it'll improve other aspects.
Hmm.
Um, but like from a wrestling standpoint, just doing as much as I can, training as much as I can, um, wrestling as many matches as I can. Whether that's in the LWF elsewhere, I'll take whatever I'm given with that, and I'll do it to the best of my ability.
Sounds good to me. Sounds
Yeah.
perfect to me. Gosh, thank you so much. Do you have anything to plug? Any shows, social media?
Well, obviously LWF have got the Lancashire Riot coming up at the next show, crowning the women's champion. That's going to be a great event. There's already a lot of very good talent on that.
Yeah,
So if you can get down to watch that, obviously come down and watch it. And if you can't, it'll be on Powered 4 TV.
it will be.
Plugging them,
I'll be
not
getting
sponsored.
not sponsored at all. No.
You have to
Although
invoice them
if you
first.
want to, I'll be getting hopefully be getting BB on as well to talk about that show as well.
Wonderful. All right. Well, thank you for that.
Any
In a nice
socials?
time. Yeah, Instagram. That Nathan Geese. It's on the bottom of the photo I sent you to overlay.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So follow me if you want. Follow me if you want. If you don't want to, fair enough. I don't post, so.
Don't follow. Yes, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you. I'll see you later.